Good evening, BC Voice listeners. Hope you're having a great start to your week. We are now in the middle of the week, and if you heard that right, then you are at the right place, because welcome to our midweek radio show. Got a lot of great information and segments coming up for you. Lots of good things we're going to talk about. And up first, we have Joe Caron, Mo, Kamara, and Cheylynn Grant, who are going to be talking to you guys about the news. Got some interesting information for those of you who are interested in impeachment updates. Going to cover all of that for you. You either love him or you hate him. Donald Trump, going to be talking about that. And also a pro-gun rally in Richmond, Virginia. So interesting things talking about there. And then a virus. So hope you enjoy. Stay tuned. And we got lots of great information coming up for you.
Guys, what's up? I'm Cheylynn.
I'm Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. And I'm Mo.
All right, so we're going to start off talking about the pro-gun rally in Richmond. So this actually happened on Martin Luther King Day, and a lot of people were concerned because they learned from their mistakes in Charlottesville in 2017. The FBI actually conducted a lot of arrests. They arrested, I think, like 9 people who were suspected of being neo-Nazis. There are a lot of groups that showed up, like white supremacists, members of anti-government militias, and other extremists, including Antifa. And firearms were also banned in Richmond. They didn't want any gun violence to spark.
Yeah.
And the New York Times was also keeping up a live report of the rally just in case anything happened, in case people were concerned. They also had bomb-sniffing dogs. They made a perimeter, and inside the perimeter of the city of Richmond, you couldn't bring guns in. And then even outside of that, there were patrols and metal detectors. But everything ended up being okay. No violence sparked out. It was actually a really peaceful protest.
Yeah. It was pretty lucky they was able to come out like that. So yeah, I got a couple of friends up in Richmond, go to school up there, VCU Union, and some of them were like telling me like they weren't. Some of the VCU kids weren't trying to go out of class. So a lot of people stayed didn't go to class because they thought like someone was gonna go down.
Yeah.
So I think it's a heads up that the city of Richmond was able to contain that. But yes, a lot of maybe different groups that could be out there for ulterior motives. You don't know everybody's reasons for being out there, but I mean, it could have went really left, and they were able to keep it, at least I would say, to a minimum. Disruption. So
I mean, I think they learned. I think they learn from their mistakes.
People do have freedom to protest, so as long as they can restrain that, then let them.
Yeah, I mean, I think they learned from what happened in Charlottesville, how to better handle that. But why Martin Luther King Day? Is that a coincidence?
I think it's called Lee Jackson Day also, and I don't know what.
That's
he
the
is
same
or what he
day?
does. Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't know why they can't let the man have his own holiday. It's really that important to them. I don't
think that
know.
just means some extremist views, but nationally recognized, I believe that it's Martin Luther King Day. So,
for sure.
Yeah, I think we can agree to that, but we'll see how things go. So,
all right.
In politics, man, Joe, you want to know what's going on?
Moving on to impeachment.
The man, who's the man up, who are always. They're always got their eye on us. What's going on, man?
Yeah, we're kind of in the middle of the trials going on. They've been going on all day today. So initially, Mitch McConnell, the Senate Republican leader, he proposed a 2-day plan for the trials to take place. He said he wanted the trials to take place over a course of 48 hours. So that would mean 1 day for the defendants of Trump to promote their case, and then 1 day for the what's called the plaintiffs to promote their case, and that was voted down. They I think the general consensus was 2 days is not enough time for this trial to take place, and if in a time so short they would have had to have trials and meetings going on at 2 or 3 in the morning, which means the American people would not be able to see them because everyone would be asleep. So they updated the plan. It's now a 3-day plan, and I mean, basically it's kind of similar. It's going to be 24 hours. Again, 24 hours for both sides to put up their cases, and then the extra 24 is going to be just kind of sort everything out, kind of put all the evidence together.
I mean, looking at it from, I guess, our generation, how we look at it, I would say that it's not the first time that there's been distrust in the government. I could say so.
No, certainly
I feel
not.
I feel like these proceedings and how they're getting stretched out more and more. I feel like it's just showing it's an election year coming up, so it's going to be a lot of non-transparency. So we're just gonna have to keep watching how it goes, keep paying attention, and see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like I've heard like a popular opinion is like for Trump, you like if you were Trump, you would want like a lengthy and like thorough trial to go down to be like
push it as long as he can.
To show like, hey, I got nothing to hide. My hands are clean and I'm running again.
Yep.
But I mean, I don't think he really does not want that. Mitch McConnell, he does not. None of the anyone on the Republican side, they really want to have a lengthy trial. It seems a lot of them are just denying that there's a case at all. Like
Evidence is
hear it over
there.
again. There's nothing there. There's nothing there.
Yeah, with our generation, there seems to be like two common themes. That one, impeachment is completely normalized. People, a
Yeah.
lot of like kids our age, I feel like, don't really realize how big of a deal impeachment is.
Well, I mean, it's happened. It's happened what 3 times in the past.
This is the third time.
In the past 40 years or so.
Yeah, and
and-
that's a pretty lengthy time.
Yeah, I mean, in like the course of American history. Okay, my bad. I think it's happened 4 times total.
Yes.
And then one time was with what's his name?
I know it happened with
Clinton.
It was the guy. It was the
Clinton.
guy after Abraham Lincoln got impeached.
Ulysses?
No,
No.
I think it was Andrew Johnson.
Andrew Jackson. Not Jackson. We can
Okay,
actually
but
look it up.
anyway, so that guy.
The first viewer to call in with the president, with the 17th president, tune in,
Yeah.
call, look up, and hit us up at
Beep, 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 beep.
bcboys.org.
All right, no.
Yeah, but we'll be looking it
Real,
up.
but-
Our producers are looking it up.
But I mean, it is kind of normalized. Like it happened with Nixon in the 80s. It happened with Clinton 2000s.
Andrew Johnson.
Andrew Johnson.
Okay,
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
nice.
Boom.
So 3 of the last impeachments out of 4 have happened within the 30 years or so, which like relatively is a short time.
So yeah, pretty much, this guy's been impeached. But will they really get him out? What do you think?
I hope not, because
hope
I don't
not?
want Pence. I don't want Pence. Pence is like Trump times 1,000. I could handle living underneath of Trump for the next like 9 to like 12 months. I think that's okay. But Pence, I don't know about that.
I mean, I don't know. I think it would be really, really messy. I think it would just be bad for our nation in general.
Is it not already messy though?
Sure, but
I mean,
it can get worse.
Yeah, it can definitely get worse. He's not lying.
I think it
I
would.
wouldn't put it past him. So
I think justice will come through. The evidence, whatever's there, will be presented. But I think overall, it would not be a good thing if he got removed
Yeah,
right now.
no.
And
yeah, like I'm seeing MSN News was reporting that how Giuliani, the lawyers brought up in the updates. They're saying how his role was. They're saying like his new lawyer, his role is increasing. In Ukraine, they're accusing that Rudy Giuliani's role in Ukraine.
okay.
Yeah, they were saying that it needs to be looked at.
Okay.
So that's like I'm saying, every week it's more headlines coming up, more documents are being released, more unclassified documents are getting let out. So we really much as citizens, it's our duty to pay attention. So we will be paying attention, especially us. We're coming up. So
Yeah.
we
Definitely.
will be paying attention.
All right. Okay. So
Quick
let's
switch,
move
quick
on.
switch.
Take it some international things going on.
What's happening?
I think most people have probably heard about this by now. The coronavirus. It's
not the beverage.
no. They're completely unrelated. No relation. Coronavirus. It's a pneumonia-like virus. Started out in Wuhan, China, and now there's at least 300 confirmed cases. That was of like a day ago. There was 300. So it's growing. It's going up really fast. There's definitely gonna be more now, if we were to check. I believe the death count was around like 10 earlier today, and you want to talk about messy. Mm-hmm. This is the busiest travel time of the year for China because they got the Lunar New Year going on.
Yep.
So you got families flying in and out of the country, going everywhere around the Pacific, everywhere around Asia.
Everywhere.
It's a very, very, very bad time for for a virus to be happening. The World Health Organization, they are holding a meeting to determine if the outbreak is an international health emergency. So it's transmittable human to human, but it's like you need to be, in order for it to be transmitted, you need to be living with someone or caring for someone. You need to be in constant contact.
This reminds me of 12 Monkeys, the movie. With the monkeys.
With like Brad Pitt.
With the virus, yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh my
It's reminding me. Hopefully not, but I'm just saying it just reminds me. So,
I'm just geeked that you've seen that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But
if you ever want to speak on movies, we can do it too. That's another segment.
Oh, definitely, yeah,
So,
for sure.
Yep. Stay tuned, guys.
But yeah,
movie coming up next week.
With this virus, viruses like these, they seem to be. China seems to be the ground zero for them a lot.
It's scary, but at the same time, we have to just do everything we can to keep ourselves.
Wash your hands.
Yep.
Yeah, wash your hands, man. Hand sanitizer.
You learn it in school. Come on.
Do
the right thing.
You know.
Please do the basics. We don't gotta tell y'all what to do.
Yeah.
Just do the basics. Come on.
And
wash your hands. If you drop your food, don't pick it up. There's no 5-second rule in public.
Yeah.
It's illegal under Bridgewater law.
It's a 0-second rule.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it
There's
is
no
nowadays.
rule. It's literally your food's gone.
It's called drop it and leave it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's called sorry, go get a new one.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's maybe the problem. Maybe in China they don't have that rule.
Well, Cheylynn was talking about this earlier, like at the
At a bunch of these markets, they leave their meat hanging out all day.
at the seafood markets.
That is true.
It's just there.
It's like a breeding zone for like bacteria, and so people are eating this meat and getting
I remember
sick.
those kid trips with my mom, to like the Grand Mart or something, the international store, get some fish or something like that. And so you will see like the guys at the counter, and they're just gonna pull the fish. It's fish is just sitting in front on the ice. They're gonna pull it out, clean it up for you, but you're gonna watch them. But there's only so much they can do. Spray it down.
Yeah.
And the world's so globalized. It's everything from everywhere. So you don't know how long stuff's been made to last. You don't know what's gonna contain what. So we really have to just go out and be clean. Pretty much be clean.
Yeah. Definitely just do everything you can do to be sanitary.
I definitely won't be giving out no hugs and handshakes.
Oh,
don't try to definitely.
all right, you ain't gotta do that.
I said it here. I said it on there. It's head nods and smiles.
Head nods
if I don't
and
like it,
smiles.
it's a frown, but it's head nods. Okay.
I mean, all right. I don't think we got to be there yet. However,
Precaution.
we got the first found case in
Seattle.
Seattle.
It happens to always be the Pacific Northwest.
Washington.
I remember when Chipotle
it makes
had
sense.
the E. coli,
Oh, yeah.
and they had like 6 cases up in Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on in like Seattle. Maybe they're mad like the Seahawks are out or something. Who knows,
I mean that might have their immune system kind of weak.
They might be mad. They won't be taking their medicine.
I think it's just got to do with the fact that the West Coast. So there's a lot of travel going on
different over there.
between a place like China and a place like Seattle, especially around this time of the year. But this guy, they looked at his travel history. He had been to China.
Have you been to China?
I have not.
Would you go to China?
No,
Not
anytime
Not
soon.
after this. I agree with you. But so pretty much the thesis you can draw from today's news broadcast with my fellow members is that 1, don't go and plan on China anytime soon. Excuse me. Richmond, maybe last week if you were there, you might not have want to been out. Yep, we have personal
I left
experience.
before Monday.
You heard it.
Okay.
Before Monday, how'd it go?
Honestly, I was kind of scared. I was like, I'm gonna get the hell out before Monday. I left at 3 a.m. on Monday.
3 a.m. on a Monday. If you're living in Richmond, you heard
So
it.
stay out of that, and also just stay informed about your news. Stay
So
up to date.
you really thought something bad was gonna go down?
Oh, for sure.
Like what? How did those rumors start spreading?
They started spreading because I have friends who go to VCU, and I also have friends who work like downtown in like real estate, or they work like higher up in like urban, regional, and planning and stuff like that. And so they were like, "Yeah, you should probably get out."
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how the rumors
You
started.
heard it
I
straight.
think.
You heard it here. Get out.
But we got one last piece of news, real quick. Some good news for you. There was a volcano eruption in the Philippines. However, they turned that They turned that frown upside down. They took the ash from the volcano to make bricks to help repair the buildings.
Give it up for Filipino ingenuity. Innovation.
Yep.
I was about to make up a word, but innovation. But look, on that note, everyone have a great night. Yep. This is Mo Kamara.
This is Joe.
This is Cheylynn Grant.
And that was your broadcast for this week.
Stay classy.
And thank you, Joe, Mo, and Cheylynn, for some great information. Hope you all learned a little something. For those of you who are like me, politically unaware, that impeachment information was nice to get updated on. Definitely stay aware. And for those of you out in Richmond, in the Richmond area, be safe, be aware, and everything. And it's a lot of great information we were given. So thank you once again. Now, up next, big, awesome segment we got coming up. We're going to be talking about sports with Patrick Tiffey, Isaac Miller, and Brendan Wells. And later, you'll hear from our guest, Eric Husselbaugh, one of our best lacrosse players here. Don't tell the other players I said that. They might get mad. But for those of you interested in the McGregor fight, they're going to be covering that. I know some of you called it. Others of you are a little disappointed in our man, Cowboy. And then great information coming up on the NFL and the upcoming championship for Super Bowl 54. I don't know anything about sports, but if you're like me, I do enjoy watching the halftime show, and I'm all about the commercials. So give it up for our next segment.
All the sports actions now coming at you quick. We have national and local sports for you. So we're going to begin with a quick 40-second boom off because that's about how fast the whole program was. So we're going to match that. Conor McGregor comes in and dominates, coming kind of sort of out of retirement. What do you guys think about this?
I just know Cowboy he's older than dirt now, and he didn't stand a chance when he walked out of that tunnel. I don't know about you, but
this was an absolute wipe. McGregor came out wanting to make a statement, and by kicking him in the head with 40 seconds, he did. So that was a great fight on him tonight. Not tonight, but it was a great showing for him.
I love the enthusiasm he came out with. He came out ready to play. He came out with that same cocky manner we're used to seeing Conor McGregor, and this time he actually backs up his words, and we're out of time. Moving on.
The fight was only 40 seconds.
The fight was only 40 seconds, so was our conversation. So now we have another kind of interesting thing on the NCAA basketball side of things. We have the Kansas State versus Kansas brawl that erupted towards the end of the game. DeSosa, he's going to get in trouble for this, and as he should. I don't think he should ever see the court ever again. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
A lot of people agree with you, actually. A lot of sports columnists have called for him to never suit up in a Kansas Jayhawk uniform again. It's actually kind of ironic. He's already been suspended for 2 years by the NCAA, by his family receiving improper benefits. Around $200,000 the university, they found out, paid him. So we'll see what happens. But it turns out this all happened when Kansas State players stole the ball from DeSosa, went down trying to lay it up, and DeSosa put that shot in the stands, to say the least, and stepped over him. And I agree with DeSosa. I thought that was all much needed. You can't steal the ball with 5 seconds. You're down 30 points. There's no way you can do that. But
this reminds me a lot of the Myles Garrett situation, the helmet to head to Mason Rudolph fight earlier in the NFL season. I'm going to say the same thing I said then. This player should never play again.
I agree.
And DeSosa, especially with both of those players, they have a history. And so going into it, you have to kind of take that into account as well. It's, this isn't the first issue this guy has had, whether it's been of the same nature or not. There are going to be things, your record builds up over time, and that has to be accounted for.
I think the NCAA is about to face a lot of backlash for this. I don't think DeSosa should have been the only one to get in trouble for this. As much as it sucks to say, both parties involved should get hurt for retaliation. Both teams should be fined a small kind of slap on the wrist thing just to kind of show that the NCAA doesn't play with big brawls like this, because that's not the kind of publicity that college basketball wants hanging around.
Absolutely. And honestly, it'll be interesting to see how the NCAA looks at that incident with Myles Garrett and how they treat this one, considering he didn't technically hit anybody with that chair, but he was pretty close. I mean, an assistant coach had to hold him back, and I mean, it was an all-out melee, to say the least. Fans were involved. I mean, it was 1 second. They brought everybody out for 1 second left in the game, and it was chaotic.
Speaking of basketball, we're going to move on to the professional side of things. I want to talk about the NBA, and the LA Clippers are getting hot just at the right time with an impressive win over the Mavericks, and Luka Doncic, again, just furthering his argument for MVP, only 1 point away from a triple-double with 1 assist away. What do you guys think about the Clippers' late push?
I love it. Sorry about that. Sorry, but I mean, Kawhi is just on fire, and in my opinion, got the best defensive team in the NBA, and it showed last night. And Kawhi Leonard actually put his forearm in Doncic's face and dunked on his face, to say the least. But
Oh, and Kawhi's been on a monster tear too. He's averaging 30 points over the last 6 games, coming into it at a great time. And like you said, with the best defense in the NBA, you got Paul George on the wing, you've got Patrick Beverley out there, Montrezl Harrell, who I think is an underrated player. Admittedly, I'm a Clippers fan, but I think he's an underrated defensive player a little bit too. So this team is just an absolute beast. And even though they're number 2 in the West right now, I think they can make a real run at the Lakers for that 1 seed going in down this final stretch here.
absolutely.
I want to talk about the NFL now, going on to the other side of things, switching things up a little bit. And we have a Super Bowl coming up, ladies and gentlemen, the hot topic of all sports world. Gotta love the Super Bowl. And let's talk about the AFC Championship. The dominant Kansas City Chiefs beating a pretty good late push Tennessee team here in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes just looks impressive as always. And Derek, what I think about this game is the Titans went away from a team that was working. It makes no sense. You have Derrick Henry, who's just destroying in the NFL, and they hardly give him the ball. And he still did play very well when they gave him the ball, but when you're having as much success as you are, why change up what you're doing when you're going up against the worst defense you played in the postseason?
I agree. I mean, maybe it was an offensive scheme thing from their point, or I'm not sure, but he was the first running back in history in the NFL to have 3 straight games of 180 yards rushing, and I mean, he's 6'5", 260 pounds. That's like a fridge coming at you and hitting you downhill. I mean, that you can't tackle that. Mm-mm. So I'm not sure. I know the Titans lost 2 assistants to college. One went back to be the defense coordinator at Ohio State. And so it'll be a tough offseason for him. But Patrick Mahomes, man, that guy's on fire. Can't stop him. Cannot.
Oh, it was absolutely incredible. His 27-yard run in the end of the second quarter there, just breaking tackles left and right. It looked like something you'd see MVP contender Lamar Jackson doing, running down on the field. Maybe a tribute to him since he got kicked out of the playoffs.
Just real quick, because we got to move on to cover some local sports, but we have to talk about the NFC side of things and, of course, give our predictions. The 49ers, an impressive victory over the Packers, 37-20 to move on to the Super Bowl. But what strikes me here is Jimmy Garoppolo only threw 8 passes and 6 completions, and his team put up 37 points. Like that's probably one of the craziest stats I've ever seen in the postseason. How does your team put up that many points? And then you have Raheem Mostert, who not a lot of people knew of before this season. This is actually the 5th team he's been on and the only year he's gotten any kind of publicity. Tevin Coleman goes down with a shoulder injury. Mostert steps up and scores 4 touchdowns for his team, leading an impressive surge into the Super Bowl. What do you guys think about this 49ers team?
I mean, I think these 49ers are going to be scary, but ultimately going to the Super Bowl, I think the Chiefs' offense is going to be too much. The Niners have been known for their defense all year long, but I think the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, I think they'll just be too much to stop.
I'm going to go back to Green Bay here. Say the least, Aaron Rodgers, just can't get it done. Cannot get it done. Won 1 Super Bowl with Mike McCarthy, who's now in Dallas. See what happens down there. But, again, I mean, defense came up short. Rodgers' lack of weapons. Devontae Adams obviously didn't play as what he did, but Jimmy Graham's not showing up. He hadn't showed up since the Seahawks Super Bowl in 2008, whenever that was.
Jimmy who?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. But, just another disappointing season up in Lambeau, and all those millions of owners that own that team are not happy right now.
You still made the NFC Championship game. That's something to go off for next year. This is a first-year head coach down in Green Bay. We can't forget that. This dude had an amazing freshman campaign.
He might be older than I don't know. He might be younger than Rodgers. I'm not. We'd have. That's a stat. Our statistical team would have to look that up, but we get on that right away. But yeah, so.
One more news out of the NFL. Eli Manning retired today. Big thing, the New York Giants quarterback that defeated Tom Brady not once but twice head-to-head in the Super Bowl has stepped away from the game. Daniel Jones will now take over that permanent starter role down in New York for the Giants. We got to talk about Bridgewater sports a little bit here before we have a guest come on the show. Just quick updates. Men's basketball having a late struggle as of recently. Huge losing streak right now and just a sloppy performance against Hampton Sydney last week, or I guess earlier this week. Women's basketball, who started out the season, I think, with a 7-game losing streak, and now they're on a 5-game winning streak.
7-2 in conference as well, Brandon.
7-2 in conference. They're leading the surge here about the midpoint of the season, and they could possibly push for an ODAC title after a horrible start to the season.
Oh, they are indeed peaking at the right time. They're on a 5-game winning streak, and they're sitting right in 4th place, right behind, I think, Emory and Henry, W&L, and I think Guilford.
Absolutely. And now we have women's lacrosse before we get to our interview. They began practice last week, and they will open up their season opener here against Hood College. I don't know who that is, but the week after that, they head to Tennessee for spring break to face Widener and host Sewanee. So they have a couple question mark matches up there, but none of them really matter in the long scheme of things. They're not ODAC games, but they're good things to keep an eye on to see how well this team may perform moving forward. They open up their ODAC game March 27th versus Randolph College here at Bridgewater, so please stay tuned for that game.
But, Coach Rachel Bragg, got a chance to talk to her earlier, enters her 3rd season at the helm. First year they were, I think, 11-6, and I think they made the ODAC playoffs with an NCAA berth, and they had a tough year last year in 4-13. But they're really led by some inspired captains, Shannon Rogers, Dwyer Nail, along with junior Michaela Brooks, who will hold it down in gold this year for the Lady Eagles. So now we'll move on to men's lacrosse. I'm my good buddy here / teammate, Eric Lee Husselbaugh, preseason All-American selected by Inside Lacrosse magazine. How you doing, son?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So we'll just move right to the questions. You're an Archbishop Spalding High School alumni. You played D-Midi in high school. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So how did offense come a part of your game when, well, let's say at a high school like that with so many Division I caliber players? How did that work out?
Well, I played offense pretty much my whole life growing up, and coming into junior year, I had to compete with a lot of guys just to get on the team. So I talked to my coach. He said, take a try at D-Midi. I did it, got on the team, and then eventually offense started coming back and just worked my way up the depth chart.
That's right. Kid has heart right there. So one more, moving on to the next. What other looks did you have other coming to Bridgewater, and why did you choose Bridgewater?
Well, I had a couple Division I, Division II small schools look at me, and then a decent amount of Division III, but ultimately, I came here. This was my first look, and I just fell in love with the place. It's great atmosphere. The guys are great on the team. Great chemistry. Coach Grant's awesome, and I just knew that this was giving me the best opportunity to play and be at my best.
Hey, Coach Drumheller's listening. He can hear you. But what's your thoughts on this year's recruiting class with bringing in these hooligans? I think there's 14 of them or something like that.
Yeah, they're a crazy bunch, but they're good guys, and I know they're excited to be here and work this year. They've been putting in a lot of good work in the offseason. A couple guys like Zach O'Brien, Brandon Javier, Carson Vaith, they're going to make a big difference this year and filling shoes that we lost last year. So I'm excited to see what they do, and I'm glad to play with them.
Immediate impact players, to say the least.
Right.
So we'll move along here. How do you feel? How do you feel the big shoes like losing all ODAC defenseman Jake Truman, senior goalie Hunter Bagby, and 100-point scorer Sean McLeish?
Well, like I just said, we brought in a decent amount of guys, impact players, like you said, and we've got guys at all positions ready to fill spots. Robbie Noyes has been working his tail off in the goal. He's been putting in countless hours in the offseason, so I think he'll make a huge difference in filling Hunter Bagby's shoes. Hunter Becker's another guy on attack.
The return.
Yep, he'll compete with Brandon Javier, guy like Chris Martell. They're going to compete for that third attack spot. And then Josh Huffman and Carson Vaith, they're going to both probably be a tandem to help fill Jake Truman's shoes. So I'm excited to see what they do.
Absolutely. And with 87 points in last year with 54 goals and 33 assists, you led the ODAC in scoring. How do you keep this momentum knowing you're going to get each ODAC's team best guy every night?
Well, it just comes with work and trusting my teammates, trusting myself, trusting the coaches. I couldn't do it without my teammates, Defense gets the ball down to us, and offense puts it in the net. So it's not all just me. Just want to shout out my team for all the help they gave me last year.
Oh, love it. All right, and I know you're a man from Annapolis, Maryland, so I got to ask you this question. But are you a believer in Big Trush? And if you were the GM of the Ravens, who are you picking up in this offseason?
Always a believer in Big Trush. It was a tough loss a couple weeks ago, but we'll be back next year. Don't worry about it. And if I'm the GM, I'm probably picking up an edge rusher or a big wide receiver so Lamar can hopefully complete some more balls. help us win some more games. So.
I'm not a big fan of Willie Snead. He needs to get the heck out of town, but that's another conversation another day. Thank you, though. Thank you for coming on with us, and it was our pleasure.
Yeah,
Yes,
thanks
thank
for
you,
having
Eric,
me.
very much. Please stay tuned for the lacrosse season coming up. They open up their season here against Mary Washington. That is February 26th. Their first ODAT game isn't until March 7th, where they travel to Lynchburg. That is a 1 o'clock game, so please stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for listening to our sports segment. We'll come up with some kind of catchy name for that here in the future. That sounds kind of lame now that I'm saying it out loud. Thank you very much for listening, and I will pass it back now over to our host with the most, Lexi.
God bless America.
Woo. Thank you, boys, for that awesome segment. I know sports fans out there are getting excited for all the things coming up, especially the NFL championship. I know for me, I'm going to watch it and enjoy the wings and also the commercials. And for our Bridgewater Lacrosse, I know the season's coming up for both our ladies and our boys. Eric, thank you once again for joining us tonight at BC Spark Radio for our midweek radio show. Hope y'all are enjoying out there. And I wish you guys the best of luck for the upcoming season. I look forward to seeing y'all. But up next, we have Justin Rogers interviewing TJ Covington. TJ Covington has just started a new club here at Bridgewater College, music production, and hope to find out more about that. Sounds awesome. Great kid, and hope you look forward to it. So I'm going to lead it on over now to Justin and TJ.
What's up, everybody? Here for Club Corner with Justin Rogers here. Got my man TJ, who I'm going to be interviewing today, and we're going to be talking about your new club that you got going. But tell us a little bit about yourself before I get this interview started.
All right, so my name's TJ Covington. I am a senior environmental science major. What else you want to know? I'm from Richmond, Virginia, 804. Yeah, man.
All right. So I heard you got a new club that you started last semester, and you want to get a little bit of hype going around it. So what is the club that you're trying to start, and what position do you hold in it?
So last semester I started the Bridgewater College Music Production Club. Basically, it's a club about people who want to learn how to sing, people who want to make music, people who want to get their names out there. You know, if you want to make a song, you want to learn how to mix and engineer stuff, like, you guys should totally come and check it out.
Okay. And what position do you hold in the club currently right now?
So, because I created the club, I'm the president, the
Okay.
prez, yeah.
Okay. Have you guys already, dropped some stuff?
Not yet. So, actually, our interest meeting will be this coming Monday, January 27th at 5 p.m.
Okay.
It'll be in the Digital Media Lab, the 3rd floor of Bowman. So, you guys should come check it out.
Okay. So what was the reasoning for you wanting to start this club? Do you have some background in music production?
Yeah, so I've been playing piano for about 10 or 11 years. That's how I began my foundation as a musician. Then middle school, I played percussion in band. I loved it. And that kind of transferred out into high school, where I started getting into recording and making music on GarageBand. That's how a lot of people start.
Yeah.
So so freshman year, I bought this program called FL Studio, and I started making beats in my room. And then I met one of my good friends, and we started making music together. So that's kind of how I kind of got thrusted into this passion that I've come to love and enjoy.
Okay. And how many people you currently have in the club right now?
So we have about 15 people so far.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Right.
Not bad at all.
Me and the other officers are really excited to get it going.
Okay, and I heard you have Berzamato as your faculty advisor, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and
Such a good
I know
guy.
he has some experience with that kind of music production stuff. So how much involvement does he have in helping you guys out?
So he's going to help us run some of the actual meetings, like the club lectures and things like that. So one of the programs we'll be using in the Digital Media Lab is called Pro Tools.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much the industry standard. So all your favorite songs, they've probably been made by using Pro Tools.
Right.
So he's going to help us kind of run that, instruct people. It'll be more of an interactive learning kind of club based. So you guys can follow along what we're doing on the giant TV screen they have in there.
Okay. And are you gonna be putting it out on any like places where you can listen to music, or how can people be listening to what you're producing?
Oh, so I think we will work with the people that do. Is it what's the other podcast that's on campus?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
It's another podcast by my RA Kenny. She asked me to make some music for that. So,
okay, and I
yeah.
think Lexi is also on that podcast.
Yeah.
Your
You know,
host, Lexi. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get. Oh, so you've been making some music?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you hear any like awesome music on there, it's probably me by me.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. I couldn't help but overhear you mention something about a podcast with me and my girl Kenny.
Yes.
Yeah, appreciate you, TJ. Yeah, stay tuned for our podcast. It's called The Quality. Just gonna shout myself out real quick. And also, TJ, I know this club sounds awesome. I have a question. I make some sick beats. Not like technically, but like with my mouth, I can like make some sick beats, like
Some beatboxing?
acapella. Yeah, some beatboxing.
Okay.
I can give you a little some if you're looking for people.
Of course.
I appreciate it, man. But
Anytime.
yeah, just wanted to tune in real quick to that. And sorry to interrupt, but yeah, just had to pitch my sale to you real quick, you know. So hit me up after the show, and I'll spit a little something for you, man.
All right, cool. Looking forward to it.
Oh, good stuff, Lexi. Appreciate that. So again, with this club and everything, you kind of said like who can join the club and everything. It's like musicians. Are there any like different types of musicians that you're looking for, or any different types of music that you want to do? Anyone.
So we want to do everything. So we want to do pop, R&B, rock, funk, gospel, jazz.
Oh man.
Whatever you're interested in, Latin, reggae.
Are you going to be recording possibly some of the BC ensembles that we have?
Oh yeah. I've talked to Dr. Creel, who's the head of the music department, and she seemed really interested in working with us to record some of the major performances that go on campus. So.
Okay. And personally, I've heard that you've been making some music and producing some music on your own.
Yeah.
A little bit. You want to talk about that just a little bit? Kind of promote yourself, but also promote the club at the same time?
Yeah. Okay, I can do that. So, a few years ago, me and my two friends, they had graduated already, so they left me here alone. But
So that's why you're starting the club, though.
yes,
So you
sir.
get more people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we started making music. We have a few songs out on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, things like that.
Yeah.
The group is called Courtesy. It's spelled very weirdly. So it'll be a C, a 4, R, T, 3 R, and then space C. It was inspired by the Carter Center, which is where we started recording.
Nice.
Yeah.
In the practice rooms? Is that
Yes,
what you
sir.
Okay.
The practice
Yeah,
rooms.
the practice rooms. Some good
Mhm.
memories in there.
Yes,
man.
sir.
That's good. Good stuff. So again, what are you most excited about for this upcoming semester? And I mean, you're a senior, you're kind of transitioning out. So what is that looking like? And you're trying to get interest in everything. Like, are you excited for what's coming up? And like, again, what are you most excited for?
I don't know. Like, it's been a long 4 years. Like, it started off really like cruddy. Like, I really didn't like this place. But then, you know, as soon as I got engaged and I started meeting people, I started hanging out more, I started to love this place. So I think what I miss most about this campus is like the friends I made and the close-knit community.
Yeah.
I think the scariest thing really is just finding a job, because you're not guaranteed a job when you like get your degree.
I get that.
So I think now is the time where I'm going to start looking for future opportunities and like maybe internships or careers.
I get that.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. As part of talking about the club a little bit more, what is your vision or your goal for this club? Like, if you said like, by the end of the semester, I want to do this. Like, this is my goal for the club, your mission. What would you say that would be?
I would say I want all the members to be able to make a song.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be like a super complex song or like like a Billboard 100 song, but something like I want them to have the confidence they need to, like, you know, if they wanted to do it on their own, if they wanted to get the equipment, if they wanted to grab some friends, some like fellow musicians, make a song. Like, that's my big goal.
Okay.
Because honestly, I think music is like a universal language, and everyone should be able to express themselves, be heard by others that, you know, like wouldn't hear them others. That's my main goal for the club.
Okay. And again, you said that almost anybody, like whether they're a musician or whether they've had experience possibly with Pro Tools in the past, like whether they want to be an engineer or whether they want to be a musician.
They want to sing, they want to rap, they want to beatbox.
And so it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Anybody can come.
Yes.
Anybody can come. Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. And what was the process like for getting a new club in? Just for maybe some people that want to start a new club, possibly they might have an idea. What was that process like last semester, or maybe even the past couple semesters? I mean, I don't know what the process looks like. So what did that look like?
So originally, I came up with the idea of starting the club beginning of my sophomore year.
Okay.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of grateful that I waited, because I don't think I was ready to run a club yet.
Yeah.
It's a lot of responsibility, but it's also like really rewarding so far. So the first step to starting a club, you have to write a constitution, and you have to get 15 signatures from like any student on campus to like show support for the club.
Oh, I remember when you were coming around the KCC and you were literally getting all of us assignments.
Yes,
and I'm
sir.
like, what is this club? And then I'm like, you know what? I'll sign it.
Just sign it. You don't need to know what it's for.
Oh my god.
So make a constitution, get your 15 signatures. You need to find an advisor that will like help support your club. And I'm grateful that I got Bridgewater to be our sponsor. Also, you have to be in close communication with student life, because they pretty much manage all the student clubs and organizations on campus.
Yeah.
And then they'll review your constitution and all your documents, and then they'll get back to you. And then if you've been approved, it'll be at the Senate meeting that they hold every month, and they'll let you know, and then you get started on your club.
Okay. All right, another question for you. So you have these skills and, you know, producing, and you're learning more skills through the club and through Bridgewater and everybody that's helping you. What are you gonna, because I know you're environmental science, and that, you know, your job is probably not going to be in recording. Is this something you want to do possibly after you graduate? If so, like, how are you going to do that?
So I think this would be more of it could definitely be like, you know, a side gig type thing.
Oh yeah.
But I think I really do want to pursue environmental science, because that's why I came here. But also, I want to help other people make music too. So
yeah, I get that.
As a musician, I think it's more of a passion and something that I can like do my entire life, like no matter what.
Well, that's a good example for anybody who's listening right now, to where maybe you are involved in a club or you're involved in something you're really passionate in, but again, might not make a lot of money, but you can still do it like as a side gig. Like for me, like I'm a drummer, and obviously I don't think I'm gonna really.
We know how good you are.
Oh, come on now, come on.
It's the best drummer around, guys.
Oh my gosh, no, I'm blushing. You can't even see it right now, but I'm blushing. But like pursuing that, I would just encourage, like, again, anybody who like is passionate about something but maybe wouldn't want to start a career in it, just be like me or TJ and kind of still keep it going. You never know what could happen.
Right.
Sorry to interrupt again, boys, but I just want to say this is some great stuff you've been talking about. But TJ, let's just get straight down to business. How about we say screw this college stuff? Me and you start like a tour on music production. I'm the beatboxer, and you just do all the other cool stuff and all the tech savvy stuff. But I'll just make the beats. Let's just get up and go. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, I'll spit some right now, man. Like, are you good at freestyling?
I am terrible at freestyling, so...
Perfect. So what I'm hearing is we can make this happen.
Yes.
Justin, give me a countdown, man. I'm about to spit something sick, and TJ's going to come in with the lyrics.
Oh, I think we're almost running out of time, Lexi. I don't think we have enough time.
All right, well, stay tuned, because me and TJ are going on tour, man.
Oh, man. All right, so kind of to wrap this segment up, TJ, What time is this meeting on Monday again, and where is it at?
This meeting is at 5 p.m. in the Digital Media Lab, 3rd floor, Bowman. Be there or be square.
Exactly. And again, anybody who has any interest at all, whether you play an instrument or whether you want to produce or anything like that, please, or whether you sing. Yes, I saw that, TJ. Or whether you sing, please come to the meeting. I know TJ and everybody else that's already in the club would appreciate it. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Justin and TJ. TJ, I appreciate it. I can't wait for this collab to go down, man. We're going worldwide with this, international, all across the board. But, yeah, to all my BC listeners out there, hope you're enjoying the midweek radio show so far. And please come out, join TJ, man. He's a great guy, got some great stuff going down. Come to the meeting. I'm definitely going to be there. We can all spit beats together. But up next, we have Ayinde Roberts and Zach Rogers going to talk to you about entertainment, you name it. BC Eagles Productions going to talk about the next event coming up. Hopefully you'll all be there. It's great. It's going to be fun. And then also video game news and updates. If you're a big gamer out there, you're definitely going to enjoy what Ayinde and Zach have to talk about. And I don't play games, but I'm a big fan of Call of Duty. That's the one game I do play. So anybody can see me in that. But I'll stop this tangent and I'll leave it up to Ayinde and Zach. Enjoy.
Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey everybody, what's going on? We got our entertainment segment. Let's go ahead and get some stuff.
Let's get started with this.
Alright, so let's go ahead and knock this one out the way. BC Eagle Productions, shouts out to them for the new event that's happening on Friday, showing the movie The Help. I think that's a really good movie. At what time? I believe it's
I don't have that with me, but I believe it's at 7.
Yes, and they're serving chocolate pie and candy.
That's kind of ironic.
If you know, you know. But
ooh, I won't spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. But it's a little bit of an inside joke.
Yeah, so I think this is pretty good. EP has been really knocking it out of the park lately with a lot of their events. So shouts out to them for what they've been doing.
Yeah, my favorite EP event was the arcade one.
Oh yeah, the EP and Busters.
Yeah, that was really fun.
I did not expect them to pull all the stops on that. So again, shouts out to them. They've been doing gangbusters. So everybody go check out The Help, man. It's a great movie. Good, perfectly timed. You know, Martin Luther King. The holiday just passing. That's great. Now we got some video game news and updates.
Ooh, here we go.
So first up, 4 major video games have gotten big delays. First off, the Final Fantasy VII Remake has been pushed back from March 3rd to April 10th. The Marvel's Avengers game, developed by Crystal Dynamics and being published by Square Enix, got pushed back from May to September 4th. CD Projekt Red Cyberpunk 2077 got pushed back from April to September 17th. And then Dying Light 2, the free-running zombie game, has been delayed indefinitely with no set release date.
That's not... You can't be... If you're a fan, if you're excited for this game, you can't really be hopeful that it's delayed indefinitely.
Well, listen, I would rather have a good game come out and be delayed, have a game be delayed and it's a good product, than have it come out the day it's supposed to come out and then be bad at launch. Like we saw what happened with Anthem.
Anthem was a train wreck.
Yeah, and again, Anthem, Fallout 76, all these games they needed delays, and they didn't take those. They didn't delay the game to work out all the bugs, to work out all the kinks, and now they're having to pay the price for it.
But like I also think there's a fine line of waiting too long.
Absolutely.
Because if you wait too long, then the hype's gonna be gone. The game's gonna come out, it might be a hit, but it might not be as big of a deal as it would have been.
So those are the big gaming delays. But speaking of other gaming news, Super Smash Bros. Revealed its 5th DLC character, has been met with a lot of controversy. For those who are unaware of who the new DLC character is, the character's name is Byleth from the game Fire Emblem Three Houses. A lot of controversy surrounding them. A lot of people are saying that this should not have been the 5th DLC character. Given the fact that Fire Emblem, that franchise, will be tied for the 2nd most represented franchise in Smash, tied with Pokemon at 8 characters. Super Mario Bros. Obviously taking the title at 9.
From my understanding, like the last 5 characters, like 4 characters who have been released are like very unrepresented characters in games that people really don't know, and they've been popularized because of Smash.
Yeah, like we have Joker from Persona, the hero from Dragon Quest, Banjo-Kazooie, and then we had Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury / King of Fighters, however you were introduced to him. I was introduced to him through King of Fighters, but he was from Fatal Fury. But then you get another Fire Emblem character. But fortunately, we are getting 6 more DLC characters coming soon. Violet's not coming out until the end of this month, so we'll see what happens. And now we got big news, big software news in the PS5. Please keep in mind that everything we're about to say is all speculatory. These are all rumors. So the PS5 is rumored to be revealed on February 5th at a Sony PlayStation conference in New York City. Some of the things that have been said about it. Is reported to be backwards compatible with all PlayStation 4 games, which
that's a no-brainer.
I hope so, because I really don't want to sell all those PS4 games.
Oh heck no!
Like Resident Evil 2 is like one of my favorite games. I'm not trying to sell that and buy a new copy. Estimated cost is sitting at $499.99. And some of the rumored launch titles, are including Gran Turismo 7 and Demon's Souls Remastered, which is Demon's Souls is the precursor to Dark Souls. And in the Game Awards, we did get a confirmation of a launch title for the PS5 in the form of a game titled Godfall. And again, all this is speculatory. The UI has been released. Leaked, quote unquote, again, taking everything with a grain of salt. It basically looks like the PS4 home screen, but with looks a little bit cleaner.
Just a little sleeker.
Right.
A lot of cleaned up.
But that is also the dev kit, so it's not representative of what we as the consumers are going to receive. I'm excited for this. Like, this is going to be the next PS4 Xbox One. Like,
yeah, I think so too, because I know about a week ago, or maybe a couple weeks ago, Xbox came out with they announced their Series X, which is going to be a powerhouse of a console.
Like, if you look at the console, it basically looks like a PC unit, and from a lot of the specs, it's basically going to be a PC unit.
The specs are insane, but like regarding the price, it might be bumped up because it's so like sophisticated.
Right. Some people are hearing 600. I think it's gonna be like 550.
Yeah.
575 at the very highest.
Well, because it's a premium console. It's trying to compete with PC and also with PS4, who's coming out with their console.
Right.
So
it's console wars are. I don't think consoles are going anywhere. PC is starting to take over, but I don't think consoles are going anywhere, especially with these powerhouses coming out.
Yeah. No.
And this is a story that I had to talk about. We got to talk about presidential candidate or presidential hopeful Joe Biden calling gaming developers quote unquote little creeps. Joe Biden was at, I believe it was a conference or some sort of meeting with. It was a bunch of other developers and other officials, government officials, and he says, and I quote, "And at one point, one of the little creeps sitting around the table, talking about game developers, told me that he was an artist because he was able to come up with games to teach you how to kill people. I would also like to point out that Biden once proposed an additional tax on all violent media, including violent video games, because of, well, that last part of that quote. There's a lot to unpack there, but let's just throw away the whole suitcase.
Oh my gosh,
It shows
this quote is so one-dimensional,
and it shows how his age. And I'm not gonna get political.
Yeah,
this is about entertainment. This is about the video games. But I'm coming in defense of the game developers. That if you boil down a game to its core, to its most basic elements, every game is going to sound like it's all about just violence. Like if you talk about Mortal Kombat, it's just beating people up. Obviously, if you break it down to its basic elements, it's a game about you killing people in very over the top ways, but it's all of the mechanics that go into it that makes it a video game. It's not just about the killing, it's about the combos, it's about the character matchups. That's the stuff that these people like Joe Biden and Clinton, like even Donald Trump said something about violent video games. He showing their lack of understanding of that medium because they have not been exposed to the newer version of this medium.
Yeah, I know. Like earlier last year, about around November, Call of Duty released, and that I remember watched. I haven't played that game yet, but I'm a huge Call of Duty fan. Their campaign was very, very intricate and very criticized, just for the content that they showed, and it was very violent, but it was also they were trying to send a message.
Right, absolutely, and like it's just to me it's just again another. I don't want to use the whole okay boomer thing, but it's another case of okay boomer.
Yeah,
it's just you can't look at this quote and not be like, listen, you're right. Like he's absolutely incorrect in his assumption of what video games are. And another thing I kind of want to bring up since we got the time, Dragonball Fighters, a game that's still going strong, even it's been out for a couple years now. They're having their world tour in February. It's going to be during February 8th through the 9th. And they confirmed that their next DLC character for Season 3 is going to be my boy, Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku. There's been leaks. This game has been getting a ton of stuff leaked. They revealed a new dramatic finish, which is sort of like they're like cut scenes after a fight. So like if you hit somebody with a heavy attack, it goes into a cut scene that's sort of a callback to something in Dragon Ball. Like Gohan has one with Cell where he does the Father Son Kamehameha. There was one that has been leaked with Goku and Frieza fighting Jiren, and it's basically how Dragon Ball Super ends in a tournament of power where Goku and Frieza eliminate Jiren. That has been leaked, and there have been leaked screenshots as to what happens after that. So it'll be interesting. Yeah. It's setting a really dangerous precedent with video games, especially fighting games, where we have digging into the source code for all of these games, trying to figure out, who's the next DLC character? What is the next DLC this, DLC that? I think it's unhealthy for us as gamers. What happened to the surprise? Like I remember when Mortal Kombat came out. Mortal Kombat 11 came out in April when we got the Combat Pack. There was speculation as to who was coming out in that pack. No one knew who was coming out. And then we got the announcement it was going to be Shang Tsung, Nightwolf, Sindel, Spawn, the Terminator, and coming out next week, the Joker. I
know that's a favorite of yours, man.
Oh man, I'm so excited. He came out with his trailer on Friday. Wow, he looks so unique. Like he doesn't look like a copy paste out of Injustice 2. He looks like a completely unique fighter. He's coming out with 3 character skins. Katana was getting a Catwoman skin, Baraka getting Killer Croc, and then Noob Saibot, one of my personal favorites, is getting the Batman Who Laughs. So
it just shows that they put time and effort into making something that someone will appreciate when they play it.
Right, and the character looks great. There's a ton of epic callbacks to a lot of the great comic book moments, like his fatal blow, the move that you do if your health bar is below 25%. His fatal blow is reminiscent. The final part of his fatal blow is reminiscent of when he kills Jason Todd, where he's whacking him with the crowbar.
Oh yeah.
He has a couple callbacks to the Heath Ledger Joker. You know when he was trying to blow up the hospital and the detonator wasn't working. That's one of his special moves. It's such a unique character, and that's what's so great about fighting games is that these characters are unique. But even Byleth, he's another Fire Emblem character, but at least they're doing something interesting.
So, we got a little bit of time left. Well, how about we talk about what game we're most excited for this year?
Resident Evil 3. Hands down. 100% Resident
I knew you were
Evil
going to
3.
say that.
I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. I love this franchise. Resident Evil 2 was my game of the year.
The remastered.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2 is my game of the year. Hands down, Resident Evil 3 looks fantastic. Nemesis looks great. Zach, what is yours? I almost called you Justin. I'm sorry.
Hey man, we do look a little similar. It's alright. It's alright. But I'm a huge Microsoft, huge Xbox fan. I love the Halo franchise. I am really, really looking forward to Halo Infinite. Hopefully it will tie the entire series. It will tie it. and it will be amazing. It's looking set. It's going to be set up to look amazing. It's going to look like Halo 3. Hopefully the gameplay is going to be the same. I'm so excited when this comes out in the fall.
All right, but that's the time that we got. Thank you guys for listening to us talk about some video game stuff, and be sure to check out The Help on Friday.
Yep, at 7-ish?
Something
like that. Something like that.
They have posters all throughout the KCC.
Yep.
You can go check it out. Go show EP support. You know, they've been doing, like I said, they've been going like really, really hard with this.
Oh, yeah.
So props to them. Shouts out. Thank you guys.
Have a good night, guys.
Well, thank you again, Ayinde and Zach. Appreciate it. To all the gamer fans out there, I hope you're just as excited as Ayinde. I mean, you can see it through his facial expression. You can hear it in his voice, the excitement for this game. He loves it. And also, thank you once again for tuning into the Bridgewater BC Spark Midweek Radio Show. Remember, we're doing this weekly. So, you know, in the middle of the week, every week, we'll be here. Same time, same place. Be there, be square. 7 o'clock on the dot. Great segments. If you enjoyed tonight's show, well, stay tuned for next week and the week after and just in general. And if you're interested in being a part of this, come to BC Voice meetings on Monday at 5 in Bowman, room 24. We'd love to get more people out here. Doing the radio show isn't the only thing. You can do much more, but we'd love to have you. We'd love you guys to get involved and to stay tuned. So thank you once again. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your week and have a great weekend. This is BC Spark Radio, Midweek Radio Show. Thank you.